civilian losses that were taking place, and restoring them to normal order is obviously a priority of the government. But prior to that, what needs to be done is get to ensure that this never occurs again. So with that, there are certain contingencies that have been done and looked at. But the biggest problem that we have that comes about is the lack of knowledge. Many people live in rented houses, sometimes they are affected, they are not being able to assess their losses, etc. So this has been impeding our progress in many ways. But now that things are falling back into order, you will suddenly find the next week or two what the real assessment will be. We have done a preliminary assessment on the impact that has taken place. We find that 600,000, 620,000 people have been affected across the country. The magnitude of that varies from place to place. You have natural disasters such as Aranayaka and Kekol, etc. But the impact that came, which is harder in the Colombo district, had more affluent people getting affected. And as a result, it is been, the revenue factor has been affected from the Colombo and the Western Province area. 128,000 houses are what is subject to have got affected. Many are redeemable back into order, but it needs a lot of attention. There is about 25,000-30,000 houses that need to be restructured, reconstructed again. So we, in our initial estimate, we have looked at it being in the range of $1.5 to $2 billion. This is, if you just take 125,000 utilizing 1.2, 1.3 million a house, you come to 185 billion, right? And if you look at the economic loss, the Prime Minister has been very ardent in saying about the small and the medium that has been the Canary Valley belt. There's over 25,000-30,000 such institutions. Now these are affected. How to kickstart them? There's everything that was there, which the stocks are no more. So the working capital is affected. So you've got to restart the entire thing. So how we are basically doing is, it's an assessment basis. We want to have a very open system with them, because once you're affected, you can't tell them to give too many information. But we don't want to have, in short, suckers in the system that will just take undue advantage of that. So we're trying to get the maximum information possible and able to assist. But we are ready, willing and able, owing to the fact that we had insured through the budget up to 10 billion of natural disasters. It is certainly helped certain houses to get immediate cash advancement on their thing, because you don't need to insure them. As the government, we have insured for the entire country. So anywhere who's affected can get covered through the process. So rest of it is the support that comes internationally. There's a lot of support, but we like to see that converted into monetary terms, because there's no point pledging unless we finally get it. So, but we find that there is certainly a want to help, and we want to encash that as soon as possible. Some have asked as to why we are not declaring it as emergency, etc. But that is something which we would desist, because in order to get a certain thing, if you do something more prejudicial, that will have an impact on the tourism and all, where the revenue flows from that would be far greater than the little that you get by ensuring that you're declaring it as emergency. So it is being calculated that you don't, but there are certain areas you can get the same benefit by saying natural disasters instead of declaring emergency. Under Article 155, there are two declarations. One, you can say emergency and get that, like what happened in tsunami, or the next one is the President has a right to make a proclamation to say that there are natural disasters in this area and for immediate action to be taken.
Is it the reason for naming those areas as high-skill resorts?
Yes, that's correct. That is really, it was assisted by the World Bank, who came and told that there is a gap that we can utilize. So we appreciated that, because we can roughly get about 102 million, which is a contingent fund available for such things when it strikes, to immediately encash upon that. And it comes as budgetary support.
So you're talking about preventing this kind of thing happening again. Have you sort of looked into the filling of marshy land, sort of unauthorized construction? What is the big picture?
Well, the big picture is been always on the drawing board, but non-implementation of that has been the catastrophe today. Even the task force that were appointed yesterday, the Prime Minister, the President, at the end of the day said, yes, we are talking, but what if the Pradesh Sabhas go and give the license, which has happened before? Are you going to break it down? So that's why he said, be very strict from now onwards, ensure that we force ourselves in to correct ourselves. Because there's no point letting it happen and then lament about it, So it's certainly proactive action is going to be taken. We are moving away from individual houses to more high-rise buildings, which we believe that will help to overcome, because land is scarce in the Western Province. So trying to have a mix of both is what we are looking at.
Now, it is almost impossible as to stop people from building if they already have land.
Yeah.
Can't you impose some building code, like say, two-story building, something like that?
Sorry, Asanta?
Like making two-story buildings mandatory or something like that, where you know that annual is going to rain, and at least there is some safety and some.
What we want to do is the outflows that are there to be managed and controlled. Those are the areas that we want to get it correct. So we have to get some experts to how to this. This is not something, say, locally that we have the talent. It has to have some, we call it hydrologists or something that comes along. And so they have, the World Bank has these type of things that are coming along and assisting. That will be a long-term plan. But certainly this type of natural disasters occur every 15-20 years. Last was when tsunami hit, and then to today. So we believe that we get ourselves ready for eventuality and get those correct. Now on the Kalani Valley belt, how can remove all the houses and they're going to go? It just won't happen, right? So it is a situation of how to ensure either they are taken to higher heights or that they are kept in a more protective element, or to ensure the waters are taken out as before it rises to a dangerous level. So these are the problems that will grapple on the way. So we'll have to wait to see what the official plan that comes up. But all new buildings would certainly fall on the new policies that we have started, which will be effective from June 1st. That is by saying that the houses have to get an environmental approval and ensure that they get the relevant, that these are not in dangerous zones. I'm not talking only of Colombo, even landslide area. There are earth slip areas.
Entire island.
Entire island, yes.
You have to get the environmental approval.
Yes. In the sense, the environmental area will have saying, yes, Peradeniya is prone for landslide, so you are not allowed. Forcefully evict them from certain areas if they know that it is in dangerous terrain. So those are the ones that are quick fix that we are working on.
Then if they have that's only property, only land available to them, then what is the next step? The government is going to provide the land to the people? Or?
That is the problem that we have. If it's the only one available, what is it that we can do? So we have got to have that limited resources, unlimited bonds, so you've got to balance the two.
So what's the impact on the crops?
The crops, I'm informed, is not as severe as the normal day-to-day life that have got affected, because it is not been in the agricultural area that has got affected. There is a limited area, but that is of not grave concern. Yes, I was told insurance up to yesterday had about 1.6 billion. Silinco told me yesterday when I met on some matter they have got about 1.2 billion.
Million.
In rupees?
No,
In
rupees.
rupees.
Million or 2 billion?
Billion.
1.2 billion.
1.2 billion is Silinco, yes.
1.6
Sri Lanka insurance. All in rupees. I think altogether insurance claims are roughly about 4-5 billion in the normal household. The commercial now, Ceylon Breweries were saying their impact is about 3 billion. So
3 billion.
3 billion.
Montera and any other property?
No, they have not spoken about
So what's the impact on the economy, overall economy, because of the glass? Are you going
it.
to
Too
bring
early
up-
to say that at the moment. Yeah, we are still looking at it.
What are the likely?
We only want to give a cost estimate so that people will not be just putting figures. And that's why I came out, because it was wanted even when you go to Japan. They want to know what the impact is.
1.3 million per house, you say, is it to rebate them or what?
No, we looked at the normal houses cost in the range of between 5 to 8 lakhs, 9 lakhs to build. But that is the lower end. The middle class will be between 2 to 5 million. So I took an average of 1. If I take 2.5, your total building cost will go up to about 250 billion.
These houses completely different or just 100?
About 20,000 are completely destroyed. In the sense, you have the roof above, you have got the walls, but if you go and sit there, you don't know when the walls will collapse. You have 7 days of water, no? So, I mean, these are houses which are over 50 years, 60 years old. Structured.
So you mentioned about 10 billion insurance for the country. Can you explain what exactly is it and
In
how
the budget,
Yeah.
we looked at the annual impact on natural disasters. And we found that it was varying from about 450 to 700 million. So I wanted to ensure that the risk of the government is reduced. So what we did was we called on National Insurance Trust Fund, NITF, to come up with a quotation. And they came up with a quotation which helps to insure for natural disasters of up to 10 billion. Broken up into various forms: housing, earthslips, fishermen going out, all natural disasters, not only limited to one. So on that score, at any one given event, you can collect up to about 10 billion of insurance claims.
10
on
billion.
10 billion. Right, so that happens is there is no personal cover that is taken. It is a country cover that we are taken. So if something happens in Aranayaka, all of them are entitled to get a claim for the loss of life.
Can they individually lodge claims or the
They
state?
will, they will lodge it with the disaster management, and that will be the focal point. That will basically say, yes, it has happened, and they will be given. So we have offloaded the government expenditure onto insurance. What is the cost to us? 300 million. The insurance premium was 300 million. So we pay 300 million and get a 10 billion. They reinsure it. We got them to reinsure, because otherwise, again, if it comes back, it's the same thing. So they reinsured with a Swiss company.
So you paid?
Yeah. You would have seen a photograph taking place 3 weeks ago, and within 3 weeks you got a claim.
Like you.
So that's why we paid 225, 250 to some places instead of 150, which was a paltry sum for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So we have been more realistic on that score.
So this is the insurance
that paying
with
250 is from the government.
Yeah. So we have a claim from the insurance company for what we pay. So we stretched and paid more. Why should we just pay people for a paltry sum?
which is it from the insurance corporation or from
National
the
Insurance Trust Fund,
That insurance under which
Government of Sri Lanka. It's a
central bank or
no. It is on the insurance board.
the insurance?
Mandula is there.
Do they invest that fund in somewhere else?
They reinsure that.
Do the insurance companies have the capacity to absorb this much load?
Well, they say so. We'll see when they walk the talk. No insurance company will say they will not honor the claim, but if they don't honor, we'll see how it happens.
So can you not visualize this kind
Well, I don't think no insurance company will take Aranayak and insure, but the National Trust Fund will do it, because that's what the government has taken for those type of things. Insurance companies look after commercial interest. If they have insured, they'll get paid. If they're not, no way. But here, we as a government has insured the country where anywhere it can happen in Mana or Kilinochchi, or it can happen in Gaul. That is insurable.
So what individually people can claim?
say for example somebody who lost his car, can that person claim on the insurance?
There's limits that you can
Oh.
go. I mean, otherwise there's no limit at all. No?
So how
You have,
should
what
I-
we have done is restore them back to normal living. You know, if a luxurious house gets caught, you have nothing out of that. But majority of them are the people who are peasantry who don't have anything. That's the level that we cover.
That means what is the basic?
Say if death occurs, I think they get 100,000 instead of the 10,000 the government pays. Then if a house has this thing, I think up to 250,000. There are things like that. So, and they get sliced. As soon as it happens, you get 10% of that.
That means
Yes, unfortunately, so it's the media. You all are the ones who are going to carry. No, you negative, you carry the positives you want.
They are submitting the claim to AGM.
Yeah, to the disaster management.
Anybody who was affected by this?
Yes, the registration process with the disaster management is the first trigger of the claim.
So they can claim for death, they can claim for house damages and household items?
No, household item. No, there are no
The house.
complication. No house. You know it has been there. Assessment. Then you can get.
that means directly have to go to the disaster management or to AG,
No, so if you get affected, you have to be registered somewhere. No, so that is disaster management.
DMC.
not
So-
AG.
No, so that's an administrative process. What the disaster management do, whether it's AG or division secretaries or whether it is Grama Sevaka,
DMC
they are-
works with the AG.
Yes, they work with the normal.
What's the impact on the growth?
I think it is too premature. But Ranga, that balances itself for once. It's a spin, no? So what is stops get caught up with the spin. It's like the war. You have a growth during war is a useless
So
development,
you
no?
expect more growth than what you predicted?
Now don't put that, don't put that catastrophe into growth. The country is growing any case.
What is the sort of quantum of international aid that you are expecting?
That's a tough. The question is, I would love to get say 3 billion, $3 billion. But what we get is subject to the benefactors,
And a lot of Sri Lankans living outside, even some people who me also, from Sri Lanka various places, they want to donate, but they don't have any proper body to give the money for whatever.
So we have opened a DST account, unlike helping Hambantota, we have a direct account which is under DST. You can get the money in transparent process. Online, everything is there. So we are there to assist.
You don't want helping Colonna.
Yes.
I'm from the Development Partner Secretariat. I'm an associate member to the FCA. The World Bank, $102 million. And also the ADB is also ready to help, actually a grant, I understand, from $3 to $5 million. Are you confident you can get this without having that state of emergency?
Yes. World Bank.
With the AG statement, that is enough for them to provide?
At 8:30 in the night, I met them here, and it was Hamre Appa, President, Prime Minister. After meetings, we had the Executive Director of the World Bank came. Going to what we spoke, they went and found a way as to how to help. So I think we are 99.9%. The proclamation will be sent out by the President before he flies off, and it is accepted. ADB, I didn't hear that. You said how many?
ADB has a grant that they can release immediately, which is 3 to 5 million.
Yeah, okay. What they have as disbursement that can take place now is only the petty cashes that they have, which is allocated. But that's not what we look at on the view. I mean, you'll have to put a couple of notes to that figure.
And a few more notes. Mr. You said the proclamation by the President. What exactly the proclamation?
That will be saying it's natural disaster,
Okay.
these areas, and we call upon for high security zones and for emergency activities to take place.
We also got that immediately tapping to the UN that convention that has done.
We have made that call. That's a normal thing which will be done by the Foreign Ministry.
So total of how much are you looking at from the donors?
So we like as much as possible,
No, but do you have some idea of what
Well,
would be the?
we believe that, cost estimates are 1.5 to 2 billion, so we look forward to receiving such amount, at least 75% of that. But that would be presumptuous, I should not be saying a figure because that would be as if we are touting around. So you put it that we are looking at maximum possible, and after all, these for loss of life as well as bringing them to normal life. So it's a call on each of the government. But I must say there's a lot of willingness, unlike the past. They're willing to help to get our Sri Lankans back on.
But this would be line of credit, not necessary grant, right?
Yeah, it can. I mean, we can't expect grants all the way. Grants are very well appreciated, but commercial loans is good enough, But one thing which is stark, when it comes out very starkly clear, is that they appreciate that there is an effort put in, even though there was a, mudslinging exercise by some of these armchair critics of the opposition, everybody felt that everybody was working, especially the civil society. And, they ask where the government, when they see Navy, Army, Police doing the work, they see the division secretary and all of them. And they ask you where the government is. As stupid as that,
What is the main cause for these floods and the landslides?
Main cause has definitely been pointed to filling the marshy lands that were there, which were the ones that were having the water retention area. Hello? Ama? Yeah, Daddy. Oh. No, darling, no way. Those are international companies. That's right. Closing on the 5th or 6th or something. You can ask now, okay, if you want. Okay. Sorry? No, all those Abatales or nothing of that.
I mean, filling of marshland, if you see the area which flooded in Colombo.
We have got aerial maps and we'll make it open to you so you can look at what the thing is. Prime Minister.
No, I mean it's near the construction of this highway. Do you think highway is also one of the reasons?
No. That has been, of course that has been ill planned, but it has not been the major cause. Others are the ones of the problem.
For your there is a major plan going on to get this flooding thing sorted out. How much will it cost, like new canals and 2 pumping stations?
I'm unaware, Ranga. It's just not. We were just been on it, we are only coming out of the shock of how much it would be. So anything else is only a guess estimate.
Again, in Aranayaka, is it this cultivation of cinnamon and...
No, it just pre-warned, it is a slip-prone area, and the guys did nothing. They lived there until they got, buried onto these things.
Plantation
No.
did not impact it.
At least that has not been mentioned to us. It may be, but I have not heard of that.
And land minister was telling that planning to take over some RPC lands uncultivated.
Yes, that
So
was
we
told by
have
the
a rough idea.
President and Prime Minister in that. They said, if required, take them out. Because there's some barren land that you can use, which are high.
How much of land are you planning to take over from RPC?
No, I wouldn't say how much, but what is required. What is required will be taken. Okay, I need to go off. Thank you very much for friendly listening. Once again, I would appreciate all of you all. You all are the ones who take Sri Lanka to the world. So whatever the